Welcome everyone to episode 20, which we're not going to actually do the drunk episode. Unfortunately, we have some news to tell. So,
Womp womp.
Andy's going to take care of this.
Yeah. Unfortunately, people, our friend Kevin, we're very happy for him. He's actually found some new responsibilities, new job and such. And so we're currently still in talks to try to get his schedule to match ours. So, but for now, for the first few 2 or 3 podcasts from now on, our friend Kevin won't be joining us. Just to dispel any rumors about some silly thing of the prank, which, by the way, he took in stride. Naturally, he sent the copy back to John physically across his window. But beyond that...
And I've been watching it ever since.
Yeah, well...
It's a good
show. I'm not a brony.
Neither am I.
It's a good show. Anyway, so that's pretty much what we have to talk about the new host. Right now we're looking for a third host, so if you think you're interesting or if you're just annoying, contact Jack. He'll take care of that shit.
If you manage to be more annoying than Andy, congratulations.
Good luck with that. I've mastered it. It is an art form.
Actually, I probably found someone who matches you.
We will see. Well, that's it for the updates on our hosts.
Now to the show. We're not getting drunk. Sorry. If things panned out better, I'm sure we would have been tipsy right now.
I tried to get drunk earlier, but,
Clearly didn't work.
No.
All right, so we have show notes. We're going to start them off. Let me just
first story I wanted to get all nerdy about was the Oculus Rift VR system. The development kits are shipping out this week, or they shipped out this week. They were set up and shipped out March 29th, and now they should be arriving within this weekend, the next week, as you're listening to this podcast. One of the few games that's actually already viable and working for it, as you already know, is Team Fortress 2. There are a few videos on YouTube that already show people using the Oculus Rift, and if you play Team Fortress 2 and you see someone with a etched black rectangle over their eyes, then you see a player who's using the Oculus Rift, so be on lookout for those. I just wanted to nerd out about this simply because it's like the first time they're doing virtual reality correctly. I've actually seen these things in action. It's like, whoa, it's not like Virtual Boy, and it's not like one of those 90s arcade VR systems. This is like 1080p if you get the resolution right, although there is a bit of there's a problem with getting the resolution on certain aspect ratios when they do the transfer, since there's an actual separate unit for the goggles that is not built into the goggles yet that takes in whatever input and then shapes it into this weird. Yeah, it's kind of difficult to explain because they have different lens caps and they have different levels of aspect ratios per each eye depending on your retina size, and yeah, they get super nerdy about this. But yeah, definitely something everyone should be looking out for, because not only is this going to be implemented into other games that we already play, which will make them amazing, but just imagine the type of games we're going to be seeing coming out purely for this media format. I mean, with VR, that's like... And it's not just like good VR, it's like incredible VR, since it's got 6 axis controller fucking sensors. So not only can you look left, right, up, and down, but you can turn your head, you can turn and look down, and it keeps track. That's the thing. It's something that you have to see for yourself, and you can't just take the word of somebody telling you. It's something that you have to find, whether it's GDC or whether it's any convention, see if there's an Oculus Rift thing, and just go to it. People are expecting the developer version already out. You should see a commercial market version by the end of this year, beginning of next year. So
that's pretty cool. I haven't heard about this. So
it was a Kickstarter.
News to me.
It was a Kickstarter, I think 1 year ago or maybe less, and it was just people wanting to do VR correctly. But the only reason that it could happen now was because of so much development in mobile platforms. 6-axis sensors on both the PlayStation 3 controller and for mobile devices. You know how they used to do the Google goggles, and you hold up your phone and you could see like.
Yes.
Well, because of that development and because the sped up development on mobile devices, they made those sensors extremely cheap. Now they slapped those on a a VR unit with a screen that's about 1,000 times larger than your usual VR unit, and they add this whole extra thing of having lenses that focus on your center of view, but provide a kind of like warped effect around the view that make it, seem more natural. Because whenever you're looking at something directly, what's in front of you is clear, but when you look to the side, your peripheral vision is kind of like blurry or, warped. They do that actually with the lenses. And the lenses come in like 3 different sizes, so it depends on how good your vision is. So one set is for people with really good vision, one set is for people with like short view visions, or I forgot the correct name for it, and others for, long-sighted, short-sighted, stuff like that. Although it's not to the point where it's, medicated or anything like that. They don't have prescription lenses for that. It's just, it's a rough developer system.
Cool.
But yeah.
That's really, really cool. I mean, I personally probably won't get one, but...
Well, we're looking at a unit that right now the developer's $300, so when it comes to market, it's going to be $100 to $200. And it's probably going to be integrated with every single video game that comes out from now on, plus a few video games that are exclusive to it, most likely.
Now, so Oculus VR, is it really a console?
No, it's virtual reality goggles. But the thing is that it's all centralized on the system. So whatever input is coming in is shaped, and the aspect ratios are changed specifically to fit your irises once you've set up the goggles correctly. And on top of it, the sits-access sensors are, translated and can operate in pretty much any engine right now. Like for Unity, it's in Unreal, although those SDKs should be released by the time... Actually, those SDKs are being released right now as we're recording this podcast. So by the time you listen to it, they should be out over the weekend.
But here's a question. Can you watch movies on it?
Yes. And use your desktop and everything. That's actually what I was in... I wanted to bring it up specifically for the incredible new paradigm that is going to do for gaming. Mm-hmm. But I'm interested in what people can do as a normal, use for it. Imagine multi-layered, 3-dimensional, and yeah, that's the other thing. The goggles automatically create and change everything to 3D. So when you're looking through the goggles, it looks 3D, but without the whole I'm going to get motion sickness or everything's red and blue. No, it's actual it provides artificial depth perception on the image through the lenses. So the particle effects actually look like you actually flinch the first time you use them. It's stuff like that. But, what was I saying? It's not just the games. Just imagine a multi-layered 3D GUI.
Huh. That's a cool idea.
We're going into, cheesy Ghost in the Shell territory here, but I'm a nerd. I'm a technophile. I mean, I grew up with... I'm a technocrat, so personally, I can't wait to actually use these for everything that it's not supposed to be used for. I would have bought into the developer thing, but by the time I heard about Oculus Rift, the developer systems had already been sold out.
Yeah, I definitely want one now. I thought it was just a console. I didn't realize it's actually something that you can just plug into anything.
Oh yeah, it's something you can. It's got HDMI and DVI port support.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're doing whole legacy support, and
so think about it in this sense. Let's say you're on a plane, you just want to watch a movie.
Yep.
You don't want anybody. You just put the thing on, hook it up to your laptop, and boom, you can now watch a movie.
Now there have been many heads-up display systems that have been sold before, but the thing is that these things were like $600 to $800.
Yes, I tried the one
and
that
they
Sony
were really, really tiny views, and they felt like a large screen but really far away. This one replaces your field of vision completely. So everything that you're looking at right now, you move your eyes up, down, left, right. That entire field of vision is replaced by these goggles. And on top of which, real-time sits-access support. So you turn your head, and whichever direction you have your head, that will be how the image is warped.
Yeah, I definitely got to get one now.
So, yes, you'd be sitting on a plane watching a movie, but if you got a message or something, you can, depending on if we have some special GUI for it, if somebody develops it.
I'm sure someone will. I'm pretty sure someone's going to create an application for your computer that, you can load up Windows Media Player or whatever, watch whatever you want to watch. And then
you can turn to your left and you have, an email update on your web browser, and then you turn to your right and that's the clear desktop window. Stuff like that. It's a tool that opens up the capabilities to stuff that we couldn't do before, like Google Glass. But we're not going to get into that.
Huh. That's a cool idea. I like
Yep.
that.
As you can tell, there's obviously going to be that one dumbass that's going to put it on and try to walk outside. Hopefully,
Oh,
he'll
yeah.
get run over.
Or, porn.
Um, I have, uh, I have to tell you something about this. One of the first 3 developers that signed on for the Oculus Rift VR system and backed it up with actual money, Epic Studios. What was the other one? Valve, of course, and it's a company that does pornographic games in Japan.
Nice.
So not only is there going to be support for some of your most favorite games, but if you're a pervert, it's going to be for all of your favorite games.
All you have to say is Japanese school girls.
Or worse yet, rape play.
Yes.
Yes, we're horrible human beings. We know that.
That
Post
we
in the
are.
comments.
Be mad, attendee, not me.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually, you actually sold me on it. I'm definitely going to wait until the consumer version comes out, but
I personally agree that people should wait for the consumer version because right now there's not as much support for orientation as they want to have it because, once again,
Exactly.
this is a developer system. And this is something that literally they made with Kickstarter money. This is one of the few times Kickstarter has actually created something, that hasn't been done before. But, the consumer version obviously is going to be smaller, more streamlined, probably unit in itself more efficient because with this it actually has to stay connected to your system because it only uses up 5 watts. That's what blew my mind.
yeah, definitely very low energy usage.
The sensors, the high def screen, everything, 5 watts. Whoa.
Huh.
But imagine the system, the unit itself having its own battery, being rechargeable, being much smaller, more ergonomic or whatever the word is. But yeah, wait for the consumer version. Should be out later this year or sometime next year. Definitely something people should look into because, well, it's, if you're a gamer, you like this shit. If you're a techie, you already like this shit. If you're someone who grew up with, stuff like Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, you're going to want to get this anyway.
Says the laughing man.
Yeah. But, yeah. Just think of it as a new format. You no longer have to worry about how many screens you have on your system. You already have your entire field of vision as your screen.
All I'm saying is like traveling. It just seems like something I would use a lot.
Obviously, when this is developed and it creates a market, people are going to come up with smaller, more travel-friendly versions of it. But I don't think we're going to see a travel version of this until we actually see the first or second generation of this, because this is meant to be something you sit down and use in your home with a powerful PC or gaming laptop or something like that. Because it's right now specifically for gaming. It's going to be a niche market when it comes out, but when wearable computing becomes more and more accepted and more popular, yeah, we're going to see newer versions of this.
You're going to be that guy with all the damn cords in your coat.
The point is going cordless. We're going for small, we're going for efficient.
That's what she said.
Or, fuck it, let's go with a battle mech suit. Never step outside without a battle mech suit.
Nice. All right, so let's move on to our next topic. Disney shuts down LucasArts.
No! Well, we all saw it coming. But
I don't know. I didn't think they would.
Well, the thing is that 6 months prior, they stopped hiring, they stopped managerial positions, they stopped a whole bunch of stuff, and so that kind of gave it away.
True.
But yeah, it's kind of sad to see it happen. I mean, not only the Star Wars 1313, which I only saw like the one thing of it. I don't know if it was an E3 or if I saw it on YouTube, but it was like Uncharted in the Star Wars universe. But it's a shame, really, because now, although I do know that there are reports of the code being released open source, so people can develop it on their own if they want. But
cool.
That looked like a really, really, like one of the few times a Star Wars game would actually be interesting. You know what, Battlefront people, you can go shove it. It wasn't that great of a game.
I liked Battlefront.
I didn't. I'm sorry.
I just think it was limited based on the hardware that was available. I mean, you have to remember, it came out in the PS2, GameCube, Xbox era. if it would have came out like recently, I'm pretty sure it would have been that much better.
Yeah, but the thing is that most of the actual good Star Wars games have been developed by third parties. I mean,
Yes.
look at Knights of the Old Republic, or what's the new one that's actual like MMO? Is that Knights of the Old Republic again, or is that something else?
I believe so.
I haven't kept up with it, unfortunately, but yeah. I know that there was an MMO that became extremely popular since it's like a Star Wars thing. I have a couple of friends playing it. I know my friend Joe, same one from WarZ that I spoke about in the last couple of episodes. He's really into it.
Huh.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
But yeah,
I do
Star Wars
see
1313 and First Assault also, which apparently was another in development title, canceled.
that.
So
Well, I do see that. I mean, their idea might work, where they're going to license the Star Wars name out. So instead of relying on one studio to come up with these games, now you just open up the floodgates where you can have a studio that's very well known for making awesome games. They can develop a true like awesome Star Wars game.
but before Star Wars, LucasArts was like, oh my god, it was like Rare back in the 90s. It was just awesome game developer. If anyone remembers Day of the Tentacle and games like those, they were just brilliant. And unfortunately, for some reason, they just went full stupid when they started making Star Wars games.
Look at my lightsaber; it's very massive.
It's a shame, really. It was a good studio, but that's the end of it.
Having
Whoa.
mic troubles.
Yeah, that was weird. Anyway.
All right. So, I mean, there's not much really we can say about that one, but as you say, what would you would say? I told you so.
Everyone saw it coming. Nobody expected it for it to happen, but that's what happens when you have, Disney buy shit up. Whenever you have a giant multinational conglomerate corporation buy a license like, the Star Wars, it's just shit like this is going to happen. And this may not be the last that we hear of something like this happening. Most likely they're going to start selling out rights to video games, rights to, movies and television.
Sellout.
They're selling it out to the masses, so expect, in the next Kingdom Hearts to be able to hold a lightsaber and have a Darth, Goofy or something like that. Just,
Dude, you probably called it already. Darth
I
Goofy.
I hope I didn't. I really hope I didn't. Because Star Wars was still like, one of those few things
Sephiroth. He's gonna verse Darth Vader.
Or randomly Luke Skywalker comes in and the whole gay spiel with the guy with the key. I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of Kingdom Hearts. I am sorry. But, anime hair immediately throws me off anything.
You're just jealous because you can't grow anime hair.
Why would anyone want to grow that?
Just ask all the people that go to Comic-Con.
Well, I've seen Comic-Con, and I've seen how bad it can get. And literally, that is something you only want to do 1 or 2 days a year. You don't want to have that year round.
Comic-Con's awesome.
I love Comic-Con. What are you talking about? I'm just saying
tons and tons of photos of...
and like any red-blooded man, I love me a girl in cosplay, but there is just some cosplay that you should not do.
I agree. Especially the ones where they paint their whole body blue or some other color. But I tell you, some of them. Well,
actually, going against the blue, there was a very nice woman I met at the last Comic-Con in New York City that dressed up like Liara Tassone.
Who's that?
From Mass Effect 3 or Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 1. The
one with the mask.
Yeah, she had the tentacles and the hair and the whole thing.
Was that this past year?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw her.
And I liked it.
Yeah, that's when they all dressed up like them.
You can paint yourself blue and, it pulls off. But there's just some things like people with the ridiculously huge hair that's all spiky and something that...
Or people
anime
that are
hair,
just a little too fat for that particular cosplay.
Fat Batman, Fat Spider-Man.
Fat Spider-Man.
And I'm not saying because I am girthy. I am robust. But there is a point where you do not dress up. If your costume shows skin when it's not supposed to, you shouldn't be wearing it. I'm sorry. Everyone is laughing at you. We're not laughing with you. We are laughing at you, my friend.
And it's not cool because you're dressed like them.
Exactly. So you're destroying the character, defaming him. You should be sued.
It's like a morbidly obese Little Mermaid.
Yeah. Oh my God, I did see that one. Oh. I mean, she might be the most wonderful woman in the world, but she just put herself in a situation where it's just, it's not good. It's not good, my
It's
friend.
not good at all. But definitely next year we'll be at Comic-Con. If you want to sign autographs, be my guest.
New York City Comic Con, most likely, if I'm not, dragged into something.
Yeah, I'll go. I went
I
last year.
promise
I
that
went the year before that.
if you meet us, I promise to throw obscenities at you.
And you'll have we'll bring a recorder so you guys can have like a battle of wits.
Oh, why not? That sounds interesting. Hey, we might even do an episode over there.
That's not a bad idea.
Small snippets of us walking around, yelling at people, questioning their sexuality and their mother's promiscuity. Things like that,
I'm pretty
good
sure you're gonna
old-fashioned
get
fun.
hit if you start doing that.
Oh, please. It's not the first time I've been punched. I lived in New York City for like 4 years. You don't live in that city without getting, socked a couple of times.
Well, you do
Or
have a
eating the street.
problem where you don't close your mouth. So
Hey,
they try to shut it with their fist.
hey, on the bright side, it just means I am the most honest person you will ever meet.
Oh yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Which
What's
is
the
why I
other one?
never understood why you hanged out with me.
Yeah, I don't know. Seriously, we don't know. We both hang out with each other. We still don't know what the hell we're doing.
Exactly. How do you do this?
Next order of business is Amazon hates Nintendo.
I do too. So what's new?
Wait, so now you hate Nintendo?
Yeah, because the Nintendo fanboy is not on the show right now.
Aw. Well, it's not his fault. He's growing up. He's growing up so fast.
Nintendo
But,
still has him by the balls.
Well, it turns out that I read this on Kotaku. I know, I'm sorry, forgive me, but sometimes I accidentally press Kotaku. And
You should
yeah,
start.
it's
It
interesting
should be
that
like a swear jar. Every time you click on Kotaku, you should be
I'll
paying me.
yeah, I'll pay $1 into the Kotaku jar. In the Gawker jar, yeah.
Gawker jar. There you go.
Anyway, it turns out that neither Nintendo or Amazon are saying anything about this, but Nintendo brand stuff like the 3DS XL, 3DS, 2D, stuff like that, whenever they put it up for sale, it's only by a third party, and even then, they plaster everything around it with PlayStation Vita, PlayStation 3. But when you do the opposite and try to buy a PlayStation Vita, it shows nothing for Nintendo.
Hmm.
Not to mention that, well, it's strange.
It is
I
strange.
found it.
I mean, I know. Look, I bought the 3DS from Amazon. You know, I was able to pre-order it and all that crap from them. I knew something was up when I could not pre-order a Wii U. I thought it was extremely odd that I could not buy a Wii U on Amazon.
Wow.
I was
You
forced.
could not pre-order one?
Huh?
You couldn't pre-order a Wii U on Amazon?
No, not at all. And then what do you call it? I was forced to just pre-order from GameStop, which means I had to pay shipping and I had to pay taxes. Two things I would not have had to pay if I went through Amazon.
Damn, taxes.
Ay. Fuck the British.
Taxation without representation. Oh, wait, we
Exactly.
need to speed up a few centuries. I think we're a bit behind.
Oh, someone actually pointed out a very key flaw in my argument. Why do I have a British flag in my room? I don't know. I honestly do not remember where I got it from, but it's been there as long as I can remember.
Hey, man, the British got the Beatles. I'm sorry, but...
I hate
and
the
also,
Beatles.
What? No!
I
Good
honestly
sir,
do not
why?
like. I honestly cannot stand the Beatles.
Well, that is a shame, because the Beatles are fucking awesome.
Okay. But getting onto Amazon, yeah, I
They
would
got
agree.
tea. They got really good tea, and no man doesn't like tea. I'm just saying.
Okay, Amazon. I honestly don't understand why there's a problem. You would think the world's largest online retailer would have access to Wii U's on launch day.
And 3DSs and 3DSs XLs and yeah, what caught my attention about this was the fact that if you go onto Amazon, you can only find Nintendo products by third parties through Amazon, nothing directly through Amazon.
Yeah.
And Amazon fucking buys everything to sell. I mean, there is very little you cannot find
You
on
can buy
Amazon.
condoms on Amazon. You can buy sex toys on Amazon. You can buy porno on Amazon.
You
But you
can buy
can't buy
pieces.
Nintendo.
You can buy pieces of the space shuttle, not from a third party, directly through Amazon if you look far enough. But you cannot find Nintendo products, Nintendo Wii U consoles, Nintendo, but PlayStation Vitas, PlayStation 3s, bucket load. You could get them for cheap,
That is weird.
and
And
none of
and
them are
honestly,
saying
I
anything
never
about
really
this.
thought much of it until you mentioned it. But I mean, I knew something was odd that I could not order a Wii U on Amazon. I thought that was very strange. But I would
Oh, yeah.
explain why I can't get like certain Nintendo accessories. Like I can't get a Wii U Pro controller on there. I couldn't get a Wiimote on there. I couldn't get, like any of these things that you would expect to
Well,
be
everyone,
available.
you got an exclusive on this podcast. You have a person who has actively tried to buy Nintendo products through Amazon and is incapable of. So,
What are you trying to say? I'm stupid?
no, I'm saying that we have an exclusive, you doomcoft.
Whoa. Whoa. No.
But yeah, I find it. I'm not even that. I'm not a Nintendo guy, but when it comes to something like this, there's got to be another story behind this.
It definitely something is smelling a little fishy.
Maybe Nintendo doesn't agree to the wholesale prices from Amazon or something like that, or maybe a contract dispute.
I have honestly no idea.
Either way, this is something that everyone should, keep an eye out for because it might be a developing, interesting story.
Huh. Yeah, definitely. Now before you, um, what do you call it? Before you start, there is actually a very interesting quote from one developer, which I'm trying to find actually, and this is regarding the PlayStation 4.
Womp womp.
Yep. Okay, here we go. Epic Games Mark Rain does not view the PlayStation 4 as a mere console. He believes that the PlayStation 4 is a gaming PC with a memory advantage over less dedicated computers. In fact, he calls it the perfect gaming PC. And here's his quote: "When you think about Windows, even Windows for most people is tied to about 2 gigabytes of addressable memory space. This really opens up beyond what most PCs can do because most PCs are running 32-bit version of Windows. It is like giving you the world's best PC. That the kind of stuff that they announced that they were doing, the level of convenience and simple things like that, they are making a really perfect gaming PC." Now, as I'm reading this, I'm just smelling bullshit written
Someone suckling
consistent.
on the Sony teat of awesome.
Yes,
So
exactly.
I don't know. I mean, he makes a good point, and yes, when it comes to a device with dedicated memory, naturally something that's built specifically for the usage of video gaming, like the PlayStation 4, will have an advantage to a normal PC with only limited allocated memory. But it's not that great, and it doesn't matter the memory you have. It really all depends on the type of GPU. It depends on the. I don't know. I
Yeah, I mean, well,
I'm still not sold.
one thing he said, which is bullshit. He's saying that most PCs are running 32-bit. Not quite. Actually,
Yeah, no.
you would think that that's the case, but ever since Windows 7, more like midlife of Windows 7, most PC manufacturers have started installing 64-bit versions as a default.
And
So,
this I can attest to because
mhm.
I've been involved in more than one corporation upgrade on a large scale, and yeah, people are going for 64-bit.
I have
I
not
mean,
used the 32-bit in maybe 6 years.
most
I
likely six
switched
years because it's
I
the same as
switched
me.
during Vista. I switched from
Yeah,
32-bit to 64.
yeah.
And I've been running 64 ever since.
You and your frickin' Vista.
Dude, Vista was the best OS ever created.
My arm is not long enough for the jerk off motion I have in my soul.
I will always think Vista was actually a well-conceived OS that got bad press and people honestly
It
never
got
gave it
bad
a
press
chance.
for a reason, okay? It was like Apple OS Part 1. Okay?
No, okay. Let me just clear up the space here, so we don't go off on the huge tangent.
Oh my
I
god,
will
yes.
admit that out of the gate, Vista was not as functional as it should have been. But what I will say is they were very quick to fix it. They were. Um,
Also, it was the quickest launch of a secondary operating system after which.
what?
Well, yeah, how many years was Vista actually on the market before they threw Windows 7 out?
It was on the market for what, 3, 4 years? But then you could say the same token about Windows 8. You know, Windows 7 was around for about 3 years, and then they threw out Windows 8. They're going
Well,
towards
previously to that, how much?
but they're
Well,
going
yeah,
towards a rapid release cycle.
well, now they're going towards the 1 year rapid release cycle with the
Windows 8.1.
Or blue something or
It's
other.
no longer going to be called Blue. It's going to be called Windows 8.1.
Oh my god!
They're doing an Apple where you have
I
macOS 10.
I cannot roll
macOS
my eyes hard enough. Makes me want to go back to Linux.
But
Okay, that's enough.
What I'm going to say
with
is,
the OS.
you know, with Vista, I was able to game perfectly fine on it. You know, it was never a problem. You know, I never, honestly, all the issues that a few people had mentioned to me, I never personally experienced. You know, and I think that it came out at a time where, you know, I guess people were just expecting the world. And, you know, it did deliver pretty well. I mean, it introduced a lot of features that people take for granted today. And I just think people just listened to the bullshit. And it's the same problem that's happening with Windows 8. It's just because a few people say, well, I hate it because it's different, now everyone and their grandmother thinks it's bad. It's not bad. With that, I'm using it to record our podcast.
I agree with you completely on that. I agree with you completely on that, and it's unfortunate fact that people listen to bullshit more than they listen to, you know, actual.
Now, I'm not saying that Metro is perfect. I mean, there are a few times where I'm annoyed about Metro, and you know what? Let's face it, Metro is not for everyone.
Well, just like something extremely brand new, Metro only works if you have a touchscreen interface. If you don't,
it works very nice when you have a touchscreen interface.
Yeah, but when you don't, it's just a hindrance, really. It's just something that, you know, you really don't want to use at all. Cause,
true. Well, I'll admit it. I'll agree. But, I mean, other than that, I mean, most people actually love the fact that Windows 8 is the fastest OS Microsoft has ever released.
When he says that, we're saying with quotation marks and an asterisk and, you know, like a 3-page long legal certificate at the end of the episode.
No, it is faster than 7, and it's faster than Vista, and it's faster than XP. It is. Benchmarks prove it.
I don't want to push this argument any further.
You're resisting the urge.
I am biting my tongue, good sir, but yes, we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Vista sucked, but not that much.
Okay, so
let's leave it at
back to this guy sucking Sony's teat, as you elegantly put it.
I'm guessing that they're trying to open up, since Valve is getting into the console market, whether we like to admit it or not, coming up with their own form of hardware, whether it becomes an actual, you know, takeaway home PC, gaming PC, or whether it becomes a console. Maybe they're trying to come up with a way to because there was talks of transferring licensing for stuff like Half-Life and such out of Valve a few years ago. I don't know if that ever went anywhere, but I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they're looking at, you know, since they're trying to turn into a hardware, you know, corporation, maybe they want to just start selling out Half-Life 2 or something to other people to do, you know. I don't know. From a marketing standpoint, it'd be stupid since they have more than enough manpower and, you know, they always do something incredible, even if they make you wait like 10 and a half years.
Mm-hmm. Now, here's a quote that I wrote, because I liked, you know, starting little flame wars. It's pretty funny.
Here we
Someone
go.
wrote this, that the PlayStation 4 is rated at 1.8 teraflops of graphical prowess.
What?
Yeah, well, they're talking about the graphics capabilities of the PS4, and that it's rated at about 1.8 teraflops of computational power, right?
That's what we're guessing here.
Yes.
Has there actually been any?
Here's just one thing I have to put out there, and this is something that, you know, I just got to prove a point. My graphics card in my rig is currently 5.5 teraflops. Suck it, Sony. Welcome to 2008.
My God. Well, yeah, that's kind of what I said before. It's an incredible gaming PC if this was 2008, but
and actually, I've checked the facts on that. The most powerful graphics card in 2008 was about the same power, if not slightly better than what the PS4 is getting.
Yeah.
But everyone always throws the money factor in there. They're like, but, you know, your rig costs X amount of dollars and the PS4 costs this. I said,
no, that's fake, because when it comes down to it, if you know what the hell you're doing, a rig can cost only a quarter of the price of
Oh
any
yeah,
console,
you
something like
can
that.
I mean, you could build a gaming Kevin's
I mean,
gaming
the most
rig costs about
expensive part of
500.
it is always going to be like the GPU, the graphics card, or if you want to go something exotic. But the rest of it,
Well, if you want to go exotic, you mean AMD, where you pay pennies on the dollar, but you also get shit that gets
dude,
obsolete.
suck a dick. We're not getting into this,
Yes, we
okay?
are.
Just eat a
All
cock,
right.
because we're not talking about
My
AMD.
graphics card in my rig right now,
Oh my
yes, it was
god.
manufactured last year. It will be supported for the next 15 years. I can bet my life on it. Because
Congratulations.
Nvidia does not cut support, whereas AMD, that nice Southern Islands GPU that they have for the 7000 series, will not be supported 3 years from now. They cut support prematurely.
Because it's experimental hardware, man. We already covered this.
All I'm just
You were
saying
bringing
is
us. You were bringing us down.
when it comes down to bang for your buck, stay clear away from anything AMD.
Oh my god, I wish I could backhand you.
You can try backhanding me all you want. I'm just making a valid point that, look, just download the latest drivers from Nvidia. It still supports the 6000 series.
We have been over this. Of
Yes.
course, it's going to suck for someone who doesn't know what the hell they're doing, which is 90% of the populace and about 80% of the people that are listening to us right now. But there's that 10% or the 20%, depending on which demographic you're talking about, that knows what the hell they're doing and want AMD. Why?
Okay.
Experimental hardware is fun.
Okay, but Andy, just the whole my rig is better than your rig game.
I haven't finished building my rig.
You cannot tell me that you can build an AMD rig that will blow mine out of the water.
Challenge. Oh wait.
Challenge accepted. Go right ahead.
No,
if you want to overclock,
no.
I will overclock my shit because I have water cooling.
So will
Test
I.
me. Test me. I'm pretty sure I can beat out your rig in every benchmark.
I've yet to build my rig, so I have the advantage on that one. And my rig will take a few months to build since I'm still choosing which parts specifically. We'll see, though. We will see.
Just know,
I'm not accepting
I
the
still have the fastest single graphics card. Okay?
What makes you think I'm not going to put myself in the poorhouse by buying a couple of Titans?
No, I didn't buy Titans. I had the GTX 690. It's a single
I know
card.
you have the 690. I'm saying that what makes you think I won't get it?
You go right ahead. Get two Titans. It may be faster, but you also paid twice as much.
Yeah, well, I still beat you, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, you beat me by 30%.
I know, right?
Which is
completely useless.
That's the thing.
It's the 30% that no one's ever actually going to use because no one is ever going to run either a simulation or something like that in their own home.
The biggest problem. I mean, someone actually had an argument match with me. He's like, "Well, why didn't you get the Titan? You're stupid. You bought a card that's already outdated." And I said,
"Yeah,
no." And he's like, "Well, two Titans and SLI will beat out your card." I said, "No shit, Sherlock. $2,000 will beat out a single card that's $1,000." And then I proceeded to say, "But actually, and for a fact, two 690s combined, that's 4 GPUs, smoke a pull Titan."
Oh god, I can't believe I'm agreeing with John, but yes, you're absolutely right.
Which is why I went with the 690 over the Titan. It just did not make any sense.
And when it comes down to it, that 30% increase in speed, no one is ever going to use unless you're doing Bitcoin mining or experimental physics and or carbon chain fucking simulations. It's pointless. I mean, I love it. Okay, I am a speed freak when it comes to hardware. Okay. You give me $5,000, I will give you a computer that might actually start thinking for itself. But the thing is that you're never going to use that much power.
I mean, there are games that can stress it because they're poorly optimized. Like for instance, Tomb Raider, the newest Tomb Raider game, which, by the way, it is ridiculously good. I honestly never liked any of the other Tomb Raiders until I played this one. This one, they did it right, and I cannot wait for a sequel. I really cannot. Now, they have a feature in there called Tress FX, and Tress FX is basically it's like the ability to have free-flowing, realistic hair. Now, like, if there's a storm and it's rainy and heavy winds, the hair would move as if it was wet, where it's sticking together in some respects. I mean, like, they went above and beyond in little details like that. And when you turn on Tress FX, my frames drop by like 30%. But I have to tell you, by the time I'm about 2 hours in, my room has gone up 20 degrees.
Oh yeah, that kind of makes sense. You know, that sounds a lot like the carbon system that they're using for Eve Online, where
Hmm.
they're trying to come up with realistic fabric and hair for in-station avatars of the players. Which they came up with this new system for creating your avatar, but they haven't fully implemented it yet because, well, it's something that they're going to need hardware that's coming down the pipeline a few years from now before they can actually integrate it into the actual game. But yeah, the same stuff that I saw in that game is kind of the same, paradigm that we're shifting towards realistic, ridiculous detail when it comes to fabrics and hair and follicles and even like, fucking skin itself. It's yeah. No, we're not talking about emotions. We're just talking about the fidelity of whatever you
Which,
see.
hey, you know what? I'm gonna actually make you not tell me to suck a dick. Um, I actually felt very emotionally attached to Tomb Raider. I've noticed this, especially even with Bioshock Infinite. I don't know if it's a new thing or if we're extremely fucking close to the uncanny valley, but I've never felt this like emotionally attached to video games before.
Now the thing is that it's not so much it's not fidelity with Bioshock Infinite. We're talking about an incredible AI system that draws you in. So you're experiencing the emotional attachment from two different developments that we're having. One, fidelity of character and emotional portrayal, and two, the developmental AI to the point that emotion and connectivity is expressed through action. So
Exactly. But now,
it's
I mean, you don't necessarily have that with Tomb Raider because you're controlling Lara Croft.
yeah.
But it's just like the way that she talks, the way that she reacts to a situation where, this is the beginning. This is where, she's not this tough girl with big titties and, wants to shoot everything in sight.
Yeah.
This is her on her first adventure, where she's never killed a person before. She does
Also,
not kill
that
animals.
scene when she kills the first person,
Yes,
I don't know if it was entirely necessary, but it does hit you. It's
it
like
does. It really does.
it's
But
like out of left field. Like, wow, I didn't expect this to be like that. But yeah, you kind of understand why
yeah,
she would act like that. So it's
exactly.
kind of an interesting like approach.
It is a
Although,
character development too, because now you're learning. Okay, well, over time, killing didn't necessarily hurt her as badly as that first time.
what's funny is that it only happens the first time. After that, fucking kill
Oh
everybody.
yeah, torching people with flaming arrows. Good stuff.
Basically, the James Bond approach of not just kill them. No, no, no. You have to grab them, throw them down a chimney,
Yep,
set them on fire, and then explode everything around them. So yeah.
exactly. Unnecessary destruction. But the thing is that like even that scene, and I mean that's pretty damn early in the game, so it's not really spoiling anything. But there's a point where you get captured by the islanders, and they tie your arms behind your back, and then of course someone stirs a ruckus, so they take their attention off of you. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna sneak away, and as you're
Yeah.
sneaking away, it's just this kind of thing where you really get involved. You're like, well, I really need to protect this girl. I got to make sure that she doesn't run into danger. She doesn't get seen, and it's all of a sudden like you really feel like you're part of the story. You feel like,
Yep.
well, my actions are going to have either good reactions or bad reactions. But ultimately, when she's spotted and the guy grabs her by the throat, you knee him in the nads, and out comes that scene where you pop a cap in his head. But
Remember, either knee them in the nads or go for the eyes. That's like universal.
exactly. But it's that whole like thing where you really the QuickTime events actually become like they're subconsciously
That was the
affecting
other
you.
thing. The quick time events weren't as annoying in this game
Oh no, they
compared
weren't.
to other games that I've seen. And I don't know if it was because it was done right, it was done sparingly, or if it's something that
I'd
feels
say it's a
organic.
combination of both A and B. Because the
It
thing
just
is,
feels organic. It's
it
just
did.
like out of the blue, you think, okay,
When
yes,
someone's
this is going to
grabbing your
happen.
legs, you wiggle the controller so that way she's kicking them in the face. I mean that just seems
Obviously,
very
there's
well
going to be
done.
naysayers about this and talk in the
No,
comments. I love it.
mostly I'm against QuickTime events. I absolutely despise them. And when I first heard that they have QuickTime events in this game, I was like, well, this sucks. But then after playing it, I was like, wow, it's not too bad. It's not. It does not become annoying.
Yeah.
But I have to say, the game does stress my rig a bit. I mean, Nvidia is claiming it's because they didn't get the final code in time, so their drivers have yet to be really optimized for it. But they already
Ah,
released one update that boosted the performance by a good 25%. and they're expecting to boost the performance again with an upcoming patch as well. Um, I have to say, if you guys hated the original Tomb Raider series, you're gonna love this game. If you
Even
loved
if
the
you
original Tomb
liked,
Raider series, you're
yeah.
gonna love this game. This game is top notch. It is worth every fucking penny you pay for it.
And for anyone that makes the analogy of it being Lara Croft slash Uncharted, you can make that analogy all you want. Just play, you'll
Well,
understand why.
just remember, there wouldn't have been an Uncharted without Tomb Raider.
And there wouldn't be this Tomb Raider without Uncharted, because I think there were a bunch of developers that were in Uncharted that are
Oh yeah, it
working on this.
definitely, in some
So
respects,
it's
felt
kind of
like
like
it. But
come full circle, because
yeah,
thanks to the original Tomb Raider, the whole adventure game became a genre, and then
yes.
because of that genre, we got Uncharted, and thankfully we had Uncharted for a good long while, and then
Mhm.
now we've come full circle to a
I
Tomb
have to
Raider
say,
that's
I really think this game is better than Uncharted because of it's able to go to a storytelling that wasn't even possible in Uncharted. In Uncharted, he's just a smug piece of shit. You know, where he's like, "Well, I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm the best." He's like Indiana Jones. He really
yeah.
just honestly
This
has no
belongs in a
emotions.
museum. I'm sorry,
Exactly,
that's my
but at
favorite
least
line.
with this one, there is character development. She isn't this, know-it-all that's like the best at every fucking thing ever. She is developing over time, quickly becoming, this one person you don't fuck with, you know.
Yeah.
But it just, and I really think they did a better job with this than Uncharted. Uncharted just felt like it was just rinse and repeat constantly, whereas this one, it just when you think you've explored everything, there's always a new area to explore.
I mean, of course, it gets really annoying with having to collect a certain amount of
And there's
whatever.
exploration. That's one thing
Yeah.
that even Uncharted doesn't have. It's just a linear path in Uncharted, whereas this one, you can go back to earlier areas and oh, well, you have a new rock climbing accessory. Now you
Well,
can,
yeah, it's
you
going
know,
back to the original roots of Tomb Raider, so it kind of like gives you, that. But my interest in it was the fact that they actually, it's the first time there's ever been a reboot that actually works.
yes, exactly.
Because we've seen reboots of other video games, we've seen reboots of
They
other movies,
managed to
and they
be
always,
worse than the original.
yeah, they somehow went. But this is the first time I've ever actually seen a reboot that is truly fucking incredible and orders of magnitude greater than the original.
Yeah, this one is, and I mean, like some of the lady fans will be happy that she's a little bit more proportionate.
Yes, no, not only lady fans. Some of the, I don't know, but I get it if you're red-blooded, whatever, and you like big tits. But there's a point where it just, I don't know, it just made the game feel too cartoonish when you saw this literally a broomstick with balloons on it, just running around shooting in some of the older games. And yeah, I
Nice.
get it. Polygons, we like them triangular tits. No, we don't. We don't. Here, she's a human fucking being, and I don't know.
Exactly.
It's not. I'm not pro sexism or against sexism on this one. I'm just saying that it's an actual. You're no longer looking at it as a woman who's fighting the world. It's a person. She happens to be a woman. Eh. The main thing is that she or he or the person, the character you're playing, is forced to kill someone for the first time. They go on this adventure. It's a consistent trial by fire situation.
Exactly.
It's a hell of an
And
experience.
this is a game where you actually feel for the people who die in it. In Uncharted, when like certain people die, you're like, so big deal.
We saw this coming. Yeah.
Yes, I actually wanted you to die.
Dude, from the first line of dialogue, I knew you were gonna die.
Yep.
You're just that guy. Yeah, that's basically Uncharted in a nutshell. But yeah. Now, next bit of news I wanted to bring up because of my utter hatred for it. The WarZ has been hacked again, and now has been taken offline.
Well, the WarZ is a piece of crap.
Unfortunately, they tried to do something interesting by taking what was, DayZ and turning it into. And yes, I don't care if you're a fan of WarZ or not. I don't care if you followed the development stage of it. There's like this group of people that say that WarZ existed before DayZ and was in development years before. No. It was a ripoff of DayZ. They tried to do what DayZ was doing better. They failed horribly because they focused more on getting money out of people and less on actually having a viable, fucking product that people would actually have fun in. If you go and but there's still a whole bunch of parts that haven't been implemented. The one thing that is fully implemented in WarZ is how to put money into the game. That is just fully developed, fucking
It actually
Incredible.
comes with a credit card reader.
Yeah, they will send you a credit card reader if you want. But yeah, after a DDoS attack back in January, I don't know. They even got pulled off Steam in December. So that tells you something. When a game gets pulled off and then put back on later, and then if you are a WarZ recipient or if you did use it, you should definitely already have gotten a security email. Although on the bright side, they didn't actually take any information about the money of players, but they did take information about accounts, passwords and such. But it's just, how bad of a developer must you be to not get someone to come in and set up the security standards, not only for your system, but for the system that the recipients are going to be using? It's just, I don't know. There's a lot of like fuck ups in this game that just make it take away from the experience. Because if you play it, it's more like, oh hey, you think DayZ, you keep thinking, oh, that's a DayZ clone, and it is.
Yeah. But I mean,
Now, on the other
thing
hand,
is, I honestly didn't give a shit about it. But
which shouldn't detract people from trying DayZ. And
oh
the
no, I'm not
standalone
talking
version
about.
of
I'm not saying that DayZ was shit. I'm saying
oh no
WarZ.
no, I'm saying WarZ is shit. No, I'm saying that it shouldn't detract people from a game like DayZ simply because WarZ didn't work. WarZ didn't work not because it's a horrible game. It didn't work because it was a shitty developer. What people should go is try to put as much focus and emphasis and support behind Rocket and DayZ, because now that they're working on the standalone version, you're going to see a really good version of DayZ, which, by the way, some of the screenshots and some of the developer blogs about what they're doing with DayZ blew my freaking mind. We're talking about, naturally, there's already a system in game where you can get sick if you're cold, but now they're introducing the idea of multiple sicknesses: typhoid, dysentery. Yes, Oregon Trail,
Bird flu.
dysentery, and stuff like that. And it would stay on your clothing. So if you were to change clothing and give it to somebody else, they would catch it. If somebody else is around you for
Nice.
too long, they catch that sickness. Or if you get bitten, it becomes like an intuitive timer that you get sicker and sicker and sicker, and then your character becomes a zombie.
Nice.
And so you die and respawn, but if you go back to where you died, you're going to see your body coming back to life and attacking you.
Awesome.
I mean, that blew my mind. That's like the kind of thing that you want that is survival. It's not survival horror, it's survival. That's new genre, survival. Which, by the way, I have an alpha that's going up that I wanted to talk about, but I'll talk about at the end of this episode. Right now, I want us to move to the Ouya.
Ouya, yes. Go ahead. Take the reins.
Yeah, the Ouya was a Kickstarter console, separate Android thing that they're releasing. And right now, if you were a backer, you should be getting yours around this week or next week. And these things should go up on sale. The normal version, the commercial version, should be going up on sale in the next few months. Yeah, it's basically just an Android system with 4 gigs of RAM, internal RAM, and it's little bots. I like the concept of this because this is the first time I've seen an actual like third, or would this be considered like fourth party console? Because it's not technically third party at this point. It's like fourth party / group funded console, and it's beautifully done.
It's basically
extremely
that
accurate.
console that you would find at Toys R Us in the bargain bin.
Yeah, but the thing is that even though it's like the $99 is for the developer kit, the actual kit may be at the same price, maybe lower. I'm not sure yet. I still have to check my source, but it's interesting. It's an interesting take, and you're talking about a ridiculously tiny little bots
Yeah.
that has the same capabilities of most high-end cell phones that are already worth $400. More RAM than a cell phone, and it works specifically with your television, or I don't know, a monitor if you want to use it specifically for that.
So you're going to make the claim, who cares about that 5.5 teraflops?
No. I can't. No. If you're going for, this isn't the game console for you if you're going for like big fucking industry games. No. This is the kind of console for someone who likes to play things like Minecraft, or someone who likes to play things like the upcoming Starbound.
If you want
Which,
to
by
play
the way,
checkers, here's the console for you.
oh my god, no. Minecraft and Starbound are really good games, but they aren't the type of games where you have an incredible amount of fucking like, oh, the anti-aliasing must be turned off or else my rig will explode, or not those type of games.
Maximum settings, baby.
Yeah, this is for the type of games that are indie developers. This is a platform for indie developers to get their game to your household without having to go through the whole thing of setting up an internet website or something. If they got an Ouya and they got the developer kit, they could set it up, put it up on the Ouya marketplace, and everyone can use
So
it.
would you
And the best,
safely say it's welfare gaming?
that's just mean. No, what I want to say about this is that not only is it trying to build up its own infrastructure, but it's not something that we've seen before. I mean, whenever we see like a third-party console, it's like something you buy in Chinatown that's called the Game Mat something, and it comes with like 3 cartridges
Or
or
they
something.
call it the Poly Station.
Or the Poly Station. Ah. But it's interesting because one, the developer kit actually works pretty well for being a developer kit and for something that started out at Kickstarter. Two, the controller is hackable, it's Bluetooth, and you can use it universally with anything. So whether you want the system or not, you're getting a pretty damn good controller with a trackpad on the controller, which, by the way, how did this beat the PS4 controller to the market? I don't know, but whatever. And you got Ethernet, you got mini USB, HDMI support, USB 3.0 support. I like it because it's the hacker's console. It's something that you can hack the shit out of. You can run ROMs. You can hack Netflix to work with it. You can get an internet browser to work with it. It's interesting. It's wonderful. It's a petite little package.
It's just
I
like
love
that
it.
AMD processor you love.
My God, will you drop it? Eat a dick, man. But yeah, just think of it. It's an Android device you could put on your TV. I love it because it opens up the capabilities for indie developers to get their shit out faster, more efficiently. You remember when we were talking about having that developer, hardware, having the console created and chosen by developers to get their shit out there?
When
This is
was
kind of the
this?
first step, last episode,
Oh, I'm sorry. I probably zoned out at that time.
most likely. But yeah, just, the whole imagining of an era of developer-made hardware where the game is put into a piece of hardware, like back in the old days of arcades, that the hardware is specific to run that game or that system or whatever. This is kind of like that first tentative step into it. Right now, and the best part of it all the games available on the Ouya, marketplace are free to try. So you can download them and play them for free. Of course, they're going to continually ask you, do you want to buy this for $5 or do you want to buy this for $3? And obviously, there are going to be some games that you want to buy. Right now, although unfortunately, the marketplace for the actual titles specific to Ouya is very limited. But once again, the thing has only been out for like a couple of weeks, and it's only to the backers. And these are the developer kits. So for anyone saying that this isn't going to go anywhere, dude, that's the same thing that they probably said about the first at-home console. You got to give it time. The developers are just now getting the kits.
Yep.
And for like $99, that's pretty fucking impressive. I mean, this is computational capabilities that most people don't have on their laptops, let alone, for a dedicated set-top box system.
That's true.
I mean, you can run stuff like Shadowgun or Grand Theft Auto on this, okay? And you can run it over Wi-Fi.
I could run Grand Theft Auto on my original PlayStation.
Yeah, but we're talking about a little cube thing. Everything can run it better, okay? But this is it's that first step. It's that first little
It's
budding
that
step.
thing that I personally probably will never support. It just doesn't fit me.
No, I'm going to support it the moment they come out with a consumer version of it. This is brilliant. Not to mention that the controller is just perfect for, universal play. Whether it be for that or for anything else. It already comes with Bluetooth enabled. It comes with, it's for the gamer that loves indie stuff, and I am a sucker for indie stuff. And
Hey, I'm not saying indie is bad because I supported Cryamore. You got me addicted to friggin' Kerbal Space Program, you dick.
Yes, good. Kerbal Space Program available on Steam. Try it out.
We don't get any money for these plugs.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't mean we shouldn't plug it. It's a really good game.
I know it is.
Oh, by the way, if you're interested in mods that are actually sanctioned and supported by the developers of Kerbal Space Program, Kerbal Spaceport, fucking brilliant. Download as much as you want from there. Most of the stuff is now available for 19.1 or 19.0. It's just great stuff to add on to Kerbal Space Program.
Mm-hmm. Let's just say my astronauts didn't survive the first, like, 20 launches.
Jebediah Kerman, man. Just
Yep.
Jebediah Kerman. So yeah, by my last few words about the Ouya, it's the hacker's console. So if you're a hacker like me that loves to fiddle around with it, open it up, add stuff to it, which by the way, you can open up the console and you can switch around hardware. You can add, I mean, if you're into soldering and stuff, you can freaking hack the shit out of this thing. It's inexpensive, it's small, it's got plenty of raw power, you know. So
Sounds like a dating ad.
kinky. Well, maybe one day when we have robot hookers, we'll have a dating app like that.
Yes, you can change your hardware out.
Exactly.
Small.
Oh, we all know that's coming down the pipeline. We all know that's going to happen.
Hey, I go for the real thing, not the virtual shit.
Everyone would go for the real thing, but the virtual shit at least is SD free.
And it doesn't judge, unless you program it to.
Yes, and you can use it every day of the month. That's right. I made the joke. Anyway.
I guess that wraps it up. I have to say, this actually was a pretty good podcast.
Oh, before we wrap it up, just
Yes?
got to give a shout out to an alpha. I spoke about it before, called Planet Explorers. If Jack, you'd be so kind as to post a link.
I will.
Yep.
I will.
You need a really good Nvidia card for this because
Nvidia? What is that? You say?
Dude, seriously? I already agreed with you. Stop beating the dead horse. It's OpenCL system based, and you need Unity 3D engine. So you're going to need a decent Nvidia card for this. But if you can get it working, it's an alpha for an incredible game. Just think Starbound / Daisy / any other adventure game in third person that you can think of. It's a hell of a game. And right now it's only getting better because they have the alpha out for free, available for everyone, and they want people to, play the game and tell them what you want, and they'll put it in the game. It's created by a studio called Pathea, or Pathea. The game is called Planet Explorers. Now, the company's been involved with a couple of other games you may have heard of, Drains and Little Zoologist. If you heard of Little Zoologist, you're probably a 10-year-old girl, and you shouldn't be up at this hour. If you heard about Drains, it's an interesting game. But anyway, try Planet Explorers Alpha. The link should be below on the thingamajiggy thing of the video. So yeah.
Yep. That wraps it up. Again, another shout out to Kevin. Good luck, man. It's really all we could say. Good luck. We miss you.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, stop being an adult, damn it, with your work and shit.
So take care, guys. Look out for future episodes. You juggling a mic again?
Yeah, unfortunately it fell off.
That's what she said.
That would be horrible if that's what she said, dude. Like in the middle, oh my god, it fell off. Oh my god! Call a doctor!